This Sunday, I was at a great event that raised a lot of money for breast cancer research. It was at an amazing facility, Sportsplex in Freeport. And let's welcome in the owner of Steve Diamond, who is going to introduce Brian Mcnamee. Take it away, Steve.
Thanks, Howie. Tonight we have a special guest. Brian Mcnamee is the general manager and the trainer at the Baseball Plus in Freeport, and also at the Long Island Sports Complex. He runs clinics, and Brian's going to be talking to some Long Beach high school players. Here's Brian.
Hey everybody, this is a great opportunity. Yeah, I've been there about Baseball Plus for about 6.5 weeks now, and things are going great. We got clinics offering after-school camps, weekend camps and clinics. We also work with Long Island Sports Complex in Freeport. So I'm really looking forward to some questions here. We got really two stud pitchers from Long Beach High, and I'm really looking forward to it. So stay tuned. Hold on.
All right, our first pitcher. He had an awesome year last year as a junior. Now he wants to light it up as a senior. Let's give it up for Danny Maper.
For Long Beach High School. It's an honor to be here with Brian, very famous personal trainer. Just had a couple of questions, like get this started off. In high school sports, a lot of kids are now using creatine, a lot of other different supplements, gaining weight, and anything else. I was just wondering what your views are on all that supplements and everything.
That's a great question. I get that a lot. Creatine, if it's taken right, basically creatine is made naturally in the body. It's also made naturally in red meat. It's hard to get 5 grams of creatine in the body. I think you have to eat 2.5 pounds of red meat to get 5 pounds or 5 grams of creatine. Creatine is a good product. It really is. But if you take a vitamin, you take a tablespoon of creatine, you take a protein shake, you have to increase your water intake, because you have to check your hydration. Creatine will dehydrate you, so you might have some muscle cramps, but it is a valuable supplement. I recommend it, but it has to be followed by a health professional like myself and or a clinician, if you know one. That's a great question.
Any follow-up, Danny?
Once again with the whole creatine. A lot of kids, high school athletes do a lot just to gain a lot of size. Myself, I'm 5'9", 150 pounds. I'm looking to play Division II ball. When I go to these schools, coaches tell me the same thing. You gain weight. Not, fat, but good shape, eat a lot of muscle. It's not natural to gain 20 pounds of muscle. So, but what can you do to get to that next level?
All right. What you're going to do is, creatine is just to help you recover. Do not use that to put on weight. What you can do is increase what your body is taking in every day by 500 calories. Eat when you're hungry, never till you're full. So every 2.5 hours, every 2 hours, eat a protein-based meal or supplement. Creatine, after you're done training, train hard, then have some 5 grams, 3 grams of creatine. But no, you have to eat every 2.5. Eat when you're hungry, never till you're full. You'll gain 1.5 pounds or a pound a week. But you know what? Genetically, you're not going to be bigger than you are. You know what? I look at you right now, across the table. You might have 1 growth spurt, maybe. As far as height, you might be 5'10 and a half, maybe. But just increase your habits of increasing or using new replacement powders. That's going to give you that extra 500 calories a day. That's the only way you can do it. Creatine is just for recovery, not to the people you were talking about they were taking it to gain size, gain weight. It's all water weight. Urinate it out. That's it. Dehydrate you, get problems. But just stay on that course of working out hard, increase your protein, eat when you're hungry, never till you're full.
Just one more also important question that you probably get asked this all the time, and it's probably very annoying. The whole issue with high school athletes, juicing to get big. It's very big because a lot of kids love baseball. It's very hard to get into schools, D2, D1 schools. You have to keep up with the competition basically. What are your views on these high school athletes, using steroids?
Once again, it's a great question, and obviously I have a lot of knowledge about that. I think it's you're putting yourself at risk, health-wise. What also you're doing is just avoiding doing the work that you need to do. So if you're a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid that has an opportunity or has access to steroids, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take them because you don't do the work. You don't work hard. So basically, you're stealing the money. You want a D2, D1, you want to play there, you're stealing the money. You know, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the work, eat right. You know, there are supplements. You know what I recommend? Recovery, creatine, which I kind of like. We'll talk about that later. What I do like creatine is recovery. I like protein in between. I like multivitamin. There are things that if you eat right, do the right thing, work hard. Taking steroids, you abuse them, that's because people are cheap. It's kind of like you have a job for a living, then you have the kid that robs places. So you're making your money, he's stealing the money. You're stealing the money when you do steroids. That's what you do.
Andrew?
You guys? Hi, my name is Andrew Judge from Long Beach High School. I'm a pitcher there. And the program that you run, what's like the ages? And like, do you only choose certain people or is it open to anyone?
Thank you, Andrew. You know what? It's open. I train 0 to 100. Or actually, you know, no disrespect, but 0 to dead. I'll train a 95-year-old guy that wants to get better at anything. Walking. Or wheeling his wheelchair. Or her wheelchair. As far as baseball's concerned, no, there's nothing. I'll train a 4-year-old kid. The thing is, everyone, I have parents, I have mothers, they always say, well, my kids, you know, they talk about weight training is all good. No. If you have the ability to listen, understand direction, if you can listen to direction, instruction, you can lift weights, you can get better. If you're, when you were 5, 6, 7 years old, did your parents ask you to take the groceries out of your car to bring them back in the house? All right, so that's weights. A bag of groceries are weights. So all of a sudden you can't do a disciplined program for 15 repetitions to pick it up, put it down, and then all of a sudden, so what I do is, in your sake, or younger kids, I'm training 2 14-year-old kids at Shaman. What I do is like, all right, Mom, so basically what you're telling me is you don't want your son to get the groceries out of the car. So that's what I'm saying. So they're like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. But you have to understand, listen to direction, and be able to understand. That's all.
Do you think like the combination of weightlifting and taking like protein powder and eating like healthy is the best way to improve in like pitching?
Well, pitching anything. I want to go back. I want to be clear. Taking protein or meal replacement powder is because we work out. So we train to get better. We're going to do my programs, anybody else's programs, whatever works, it works. I like meal replacement, I like multivitamins because we cannot, in a given day, any human being cannot take in the supplement and or the nutrition that they need to do. You guys, how many times you've been in between workouts? You're on the field for 3 hours. You're off the field for 2 hours in the shower doing your studies, and then, you know what, you get a meal. So yes, meal replacement, multivitamin. Creatine, I do like, but that's another show. Yes, you can get better if you eat right and eat enough. Eat when you're hungry, never till you're full. So, if every time you're hungry, how many hours is that? 2 hours? 2.5? Have a snack, have some nuts, have some raisins. So, do you need protein powder? No. Do you need creatine? No. Do you need to eat every 2.5 hours? Yeah. Is it hard? Yes. So what the supplements do is it allows you to do it. I like the balance bars. I like the creatine bars. It's a Pro Max. It has a little bit of creatine. The little bar that big. Put it in your back pocket. I used to eat them on a baseball field. Just whip it out. You're gonna spend a lot of time on the field. Spend a lot of time training. But no, there's nothing. There's no quick fix. The only quick fix you can do is eat when you're hungry, never till you're full, and train and study, you're student athletes. Student, until you get a paycheck to work, you're student athletes. When I give you a check for $10 to go play at my league, National Yankees, then you can be professionals. Until now, you're students. And then, other than that, supplements a lot of money. Just eat well. Know what you're putting in your body all the time. If you go after this, if you go to McDonald's right down the block, because they got a sale, 3 Big Macs for $3, as long as you know what you're putting in your body, I don't care. Don't come to me next week when we do this radio show and say, you said eat when I'm hungry, never till I'm full, but next thing you know, you have 3 Big Macs. No. You can have that, but know what you don't.
One other question that's a main issue with a lot of times it's, football coaches and pushing athletes to 1 rep maximum. Sorry. A lot of times, you'll see quarterbacks or pitchers, bench pressing and coaches make them do 1 rep maximums. And when I was a freshman and sophomore, I was the JV quarterback. My sophomore year, I blew out my shoulder due to a 1 rep max. I tore my labrum. And, I never blame my coach. I always blame myself. And I was just wondering, like, what your views are on, coaches forcing kids with this 1 rep maximum. Should they be doing it, or, just cut it off before muscle failure?
Thank you. One rep max is old school football. An SAU coach, but you know what? There's a way to design, because I do actually design pitch programs on their 1 rep max, but there's a formula that you can do that will give me, I know what your 1 rep max is, then I break it down to 15 reps to 10. So there's a way to do that. I think a lot of times kids like yourselves, or young adults, are gonna listen to a coach. Football's a different mentality. So with that mentality, 1 rep max is old school. It is. And yes, I can see you blowing out your leg. And you're going to, knowing you, I've known you for 45 minutes now, you're going to do what the coach says because you're going to be competitive and you're going to give your best. That's sometimes not the best to do. But you didn't know. How old were you when you did that?
I was about 14, 15 years old.
Alright, now you're 17? 17. So, you know what? When I started, I was a freshman in Malloy. I would have done whatever, I would have ran through that wall. 1 rep max is not good. It doesn't work. So, how old was your coach? He had to be old school. Probably a guy that never played high school football. Probably never did. Thank you. Let's say that to them.
Just, once again, going back to the workout routines for pitchers in particular, there's definitely workouts for a lot of other players, leg lifting and everything. I mean, I guess linemen are different, but for pitchers, what are like the main, I've asked my pitching coach this several times, and I just want to hear, your perspective. What's the main workouts pitchers should be doing at my age?
Okay, that's a big question, because you have in-season, you have postseason, you have all-season, and then you have preseason. So, that is depending, are you a starter, reliever, what is your role? So you take that into effect. Everything a pitcher needs to do is, from the waist up, is fast twitch, obviously. You have to be fast, explosive. So low body, from the waist down, is strength. So you develop strength on the lower half. Then what you do is the waist up is explosive. So you take explosive, strength, which is slow, lower half on the waist. Then you develop it and make it powerful. Every pitcher wants to be powerful. So how do you do that? That's up to your coach. I mean, it has to make sense. I ask every client, everybody, at the end of every repetition, every workout, today I did it, I said, does it make sense? It has to make sense. You're too educated, you go to too good of schools, it has to make sense, because you know what I say to you might not necessarily work or make sense to your pitcher, your friend, your teammate. So I have to have a way as a coach and a clinician to make what I say to you to make sense there. So I think your coach is going to be, does it make sense? Explosive, fast twitch, upper body, waist up, fast twitch, fast, lower body, slow, strength, powerful. That's where your strength comes from. And then your arm is an extension of your backside. Your backside is your back leg if you're right, left backside. Then what you do is you develop that strength and you make it strong and quick and powerful. And it is a formula, it is, but it has to make sense. So listen to your pitching coach because he is your coach. And if it makes sense, then do it. If not, do your own thing.
All right, we have to wrap up this segment. Steve, I just wanted to do a quick wrap up. And another round of applause for Brian, Danny, and Andrew. Great stuff.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, guys. Brian's going to be doing clinics at the Baseball Plus in Freeport and the Long Island Sports Complex. He's got a 10-week program starting this week. So give us a call and come down and meet Brian, and he'd be love to train you. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break. We got some great guests coming up. We got Mark Tannenbaum from The Changer. We got Susan Russo coming up. We got John Thiessen. We got Joe Satriano. We got Shannon Roman coming up. So keep it locked here, 12:40 a.m. I am Halftime Howie. This is Broadcasting on the Beach, coming from the prestigious law offices of Pectic, and Schaefer on the wild west end of Long Beach, on Long Island's first and oldest station, 12:40 a.m. WG.